The time has finally come, ladies and gentlemen. I know everyone on my Instagram has been begging for this. I've been spamming my Instagram story for months. And guess what? It's time. End of the year is here. It is time for my top 20 films of 2023. This is going to be a good one, ladies and gentlemen. In no way are these real reviews. I don't think I've had an original thought in years. These are just my initial thoughts. These are just movies that I like more than others. These aren't reviews. I don't review movies. Let's get into it. But first, here are some honorable mentions. The Iron Claw, All of Us Strangers, Dream Scenario, Theater Camp, Wonka, Killers of the Flower Moon, Are You There, God Is Me, Margaret, The Beast, and Scrapper. Number 20, The Big Monster Man, Godzilla -1, baby. I don't remember the last time I watched a good Godzilla movie. The last two movies I watched were not very good. After watching Godzilla fight a giant monkey and a three-headed dragon, you tend to forget how truly terrifying this fucking dude is. Great story, great character writing, great Godzilla, just an amazing film altogether. Number 19, American Fiction. I only need a couple words to describe this movie. It was absolutely hilarious. It was very heartwarming, and it was very moving for what it was. If you want a good satire, just watch the movie. It's good. Number 18, What Was I Made For? Barbie. Come on. It was one of the biggest summer events ever made in history of cinema. It had to be on here. I loved it. It was great. It was funny. Ryan Gosling. I'm literally him. Blah, blah, blah. I thought the whole message that Greta Gerwig was going for was great. But I felt like towards the end, it was a bit on the nose. But don't get me wrong. I love the movie. Go Woman. Great movie. That's why it still made out my top 20. Number 17. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Thank you, Into the Spider-Verse, for paving the way for animation like this. This was a great, fresh, new take on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that I honestly did not expect to like. It was pretty funny and it arguably had one of the best action sequences of the year. Maybe. Number 16, Rice Boy Sleeps. As a fellow Rice Boy, this shit slapped. This story has been done before, again and again, but this movie just was different. It just was so beautiful, beautifully shot, beautifully told. The acting was just impeccable. Mwah! It deals with a lot of things like identity, and destiny, and growing up in a place where you don't feel like you just don't belong. It's just if you're Asian, this is a must watch. Peak! Number 15, The Eight Mountains. I think this might be one of the best shot films of the year because this shit was beautiful. If you want to watch two grown men build a house on a mountain, this is your movie. A beautiful story about discovering oneself, finding inner peace, and other things that I probably don't know. Just a beautiful look at how a lifelong bond can just shape two people's souls and bring them together and apart. Number 14, The Killer. Everybody say it with me now. I love the Smiths. Fincher is back with another banger. I'm so glad I watched this in theaters. It was like I was watching ASMR the movie. The sound design, the editing, everything was amazing. And Michael Fassbender's performance felt cold and calculated just like this movie. And there's a fight scene in this movie that's just perfect. I think it might be one of the best fight scenes this year. And if you want to watch a grown man travel the world and go kill people for 2 hours, just watch this movie. Number 13, Poor Things. Poor Things, aka Sex, the movie. Oh my god, was there a lot of sex in this. Other than that, it was a great film about discovering oneself as a woman. Emma Stone was just amazing in this, and don't get me started about Mark Ruffalo. Oh my god, I don't think I've ever laughed that hard at a human being this year than I did with Mark Ruffalo. Jesus. Every Yorgos film is a hit or miss. I've only seen like 2, but this was a hit. Number 12, Oppenheimer. What can I say about the second half of the biggest event in cinema history? Oppenheimer was just amazing. From the editing to the amazing soundtrack, everything just kept flowing and flowing and flowing, and I just couldn't have time to breathe. I didn't even know what they were talking about half the time. It was like I was watching a montage about this man's life and I was intrigued every step of the way. Everyone's performance was just amazing, especially the main man himself, Cillian Murphy. He killed it as Oppenheimer. Each time I saw a different white man cameo on the screen, I just pointed. I was like, I know that guy, I know that guy. That's Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. Anyways, good job, Christopher Nolan. Number 11, The Boy and the Heron. What can I say? Miyazaki is simply him. The animation is top tier. The directing is top tier. The storytelling is top tier. It might sound like I'm glazing, but I'm not. Miyazaki conveys this beautiful story about struggling between wanting to remember the people that you've lost and realizing maybe it's time I should let them go. It really resonated with me on a personal level. I love this film. Love Miyazaki. Mwah, mwah. French kisses for everything. It's about time. The top 10 is here. Number 10, Monster. I know I've been using the word beautiful a lot, but this film is the definition of beautiful. Monster follows 3 different perspectives of a mystery, and each perspective just unravels the mystery more and more and more until it just becomes something just absolutely astounding. With a great screenplay, great performances, and an amazing soundtrack to back it up, this film really brought a tear to my eyes, especially that last shot. Oh my god! Number 9, May December. Alright, let's just get this out of the way. Charles fucking Melton is a genius. His performance in this film was just so tragic. It's like watching a kid in an adult body trying to do adult things, but they just don't know how. You're just watching these 2 powerful women just battling each other while this kid is in the crosshairs. Charles Melton perfectly encapsulates the loss of innocence and how damaging these types of relationships are. It's just crazy, really. It's insane. Number 8, Past Lives. Man, I don't even want to talk about this movie. I was at my lowest when I watched this, and that shit crushed me. Yeah, this story has been told before, but Celine Song just tells it in such a beautiful way. Every performance was just perfect. It felt so real and so intimate that I just couldn't keep my eyes off the screen. That's actually not true. I actually wanted to look away. And by the end of the film, I realized some relationships are meant to stay and some are meant to be. Fuck this movie. Number 7, Asteroid City. To be completely honest with you, I don't even know what this movie is about. You know, some people would say, ooh, Wes Anderson, all his movies are the same. Ooh, symmetrical shots. Ooh, wow. I fucking love that shit, okay? My little Wessie Poo can get number 7 if he wants to. Sue me. Maybe the whole point of the movie is not to understand. Maybe it's just to, you know, enjoy the ride and just laugh, and god damn it, I love this movie and you can't take that away from me. Number 6, The Holdovers. I really didn't expect to like this movie this much. Maybe it's because I watched it in the middle of October when I was doing my horror movie marathon, but this was the exact movie I needed at the exact right time. This felt like a warm hug. This felt like a sip of hot cocoa on a cold winter night. It was just so heartwarming. It was so charming. It was so funny. It was just a great film overall.
俺は絶対になる。俺は世界一のジャズプレイヤーになる。
Number 5, Blue Giant. I fucking love jazz, and this whole film was just a love letter to jazz. Every new song they played was just amazing. This story had so much heart. The character writing for each character was just mwah. I loved it so much. And yes, there was some 3D animation, and it was kind of a yikes, but there were some animated sequences that just blew my mind. It was just impeccable. Some of the jazz sequences just made me feel like I was there in the room listening to them live. Woo! This shit was so good.
Go. Go.
We can do this.
Number 4, The First Slam Dunk.
1, 2, 3, win!
This is truly one of the best sports manga / anime I've ever seen in my life. I remember just smiling throughout the whole movie, and it was just an amazing experience being able to see these characters on the big screen. This is a story about perseverance. None of these players are perfect. Each of these players have their own personal demons they have to battle, but they all come together to work as a team and defeat their rival. I love how they focused on my fellow Short King, Miyagi. His story is just tragic, heartbreaking, but the way he pulls through is just a sight to see. It's an inspiration. Number 3, Anatomy of a Fall. Man, what a wild ride this movie brings you on. This is your classic courtroom drama, but it is super, super, super intriguing. Like, I don't remember a single time where I wasn't fully invested in what was going on and what was being said. Every performance was amazing. From Sandra Hüller to the fucking kid to even the dog. The dog deserves every award possible. There's even one scene that's just so good. It gave me literal PTSD when I watched. Such an amazing, engaging, well written, just a great film. Number 2, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Call me a Marvel fanboy all you want, but this was simply peak. Guardians 3 has already become one of my favorite Marvel movies of all time. Rocket Raccoon is just the GOAT. James Gunn tells a heartbreaking story and it's just amazing. I laughed, I cried, I laughed again, I cried even more, and I just ended up amazed at the end product. Thank you, James Gunn, for everything you've done for the MCU, and thank you, Guardians, for being one of the best franchises in this shitty shithole. And my number 1 movie of the year is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, baby. Of course it's gonna be number 1. This was just an absolute peak in animation, character writing, storytelling. Everything you need in a film is in this film. The way the movie just changes animation styles throughout the whole thing just amazes me. Miles is just the perfect example of perfect character development. After watching Into the Spider-Verse, I did not think they could top it, and guess what, they did. It was action-packed, it was hilarious, it was emotional, it was everything a Spider-Man movie should be. And that's it. My top 20 films of 2023. Real quick, these are my top shows I watched this year. Succession Season 4, Barry Season 4, Gen V, The Bear Season 2, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Loki Season 2, The Last of Us, The Curse, and the Attack on Titan finale. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for sitting through my Instagram story spams. I'm going to continue in 2024, so buckle up, be ready. Thank you again. Peace.